Hello everybody, and welcome back to more Kerbal. It's been a couple weeks, so we took a week off because of Transistor, and I wanted to get super excited for that and just play through the game, which I did that, and the series has started on the channel. You could go watch that, but that's why we didn't have Kerbal last week, in case you were wondering. But Kerbal is back, and I actually had to watch the last episode to remember what the heck we were doing. So we built the probe, and by probe I mean lander, and it's the kind of weird, let's load. I haven't played Kerbal in a while, so it feels weird. We were going to land on Eve, so I'm pretty sure it's this one. We'll make certain of it. Yep, okay, that is definitely the ridiculous rocket that I remember building, and that is our awesome lander. So this thing is just going to be the sweetest thing ever. By the way, I actually had a couple people, not just one, but a few, so I figure I should address it right away, telling me that I don't have an antenna on this. I do. That's what this little round thing here is, and I'll show you when we launch. I'll go up to the top of the craft, and I'll show you that it extends and everything. And it's a pretty cool little antenna, but for the most part, I can understand why people would be like, no, you know, there's nothing up there. Well, there is. It's just a new piece that we're using. So, whoop, and extend, which you can see it pops out, and it's like a little cool little thing, and it works even though it's totally, totally extending through all of our pieces. Okay, well, why don't we get our launch done with? Let's just start this right up and just jump right into it, because we need to get to Eve, and Eve can be a little difficult to get to. But, as I've said previously, the thing that gets you with Eve more than any other planet is the fact that it has super heavy gravity and a pretty dense atmosphere. The atmosphere is probably the main thing that'll get you, really. But in all reality, if you were to land on Eve, if you wanted to take back off, you would need a bigger rocket than this in order to get back to Kerbin whilst taking off. So you would have to take off with something like this in order to get back to Kerbin, because it is really difficult to get back to Kerbin from Eve because of all the factors, the gravity and the atmosphere and all that. So this is why we're just sending an unmanned, rover to go do its little thing. For the most part, if you build a station at Eve, that would be the best way to do it. We'll talk about that a little bit, because I think that's what we'll end up doing. But I need to get rid of these solid rocket fuel. Boom. Goodbye, boosters. And we'll begin our turn, because we're at like 18,000 meters already. We probably should just go full sideways, but you know what, we'll go about that. So what you really want to do if you're going to try to land on Eve and come back is set up a station, an orbital station around Eve, and then that way, when you land, you're able to get back to the station, which would then take you back to Kerbin. So you would dock at the station, and it would get you out of there, but you would need a multi-stage rocket in order to even get past the point, of getting, well, I guess you wouldn't necessarily need a multi-stage rocket. Wow, I'm surprised that survived. In order to, let's get rid of that, in order to get into orbit and dock, but you would need something very powerful, I think is the best way to put it. Okay, how are we doing on this? Well, let us get ourselves an actual orbit going on here. So as we get this to 800,000, which is about right now, oh, that was almost perfect. I'm going to mention something that, I don't know if the rest of the world understands what I'll be talking about here, but and the main part of it is I don't know if Taco Bell is in the rest of, like Europe and all that. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure it's a USA thing, really. Well, Taco Bell is like a Mexican fast food restaurant, right? It's sometimes not even classified as food, but it is delicious. And they have a very specific flavor of Mountain Dew called Baja Blast. You can't get it anywhere else. However, Mountain Dew just recently put out a special edition one in the can and in bottles that you can only get for a short amount of time. So instead of drinking coffee like I usually do, being a super, you know, I guess scientist, Kerbal scientist thing, I am instead drinking Baja Blast, which I didn't have to go to Taco Bell for. So it's a win-win situation. Not only do you get Baja Blast, but you don't get the poops after having Taco Bell, which every American knows happens every single time you go to Taco Bell, regardless of what you get. It actually took a lot longer than it usually does to get a circle going. Anyways, now we need to pop out MechJeb, do our maneuver planner, and we're going to zoom out. Whoops, I want to zoom out on the map, not on my craft. Although I probably should watch that electrical charge thing. We have enough solar panels on there, and that shouldn't make too big of a difference, but you never know. Okay, so let's set this target. Let's find our... to transfer another planet. We're going to create node, and that will happen... oh, wow, we don't really have to burn too much, but that will happen in 89 days, so we will get to our point on the ball, and then we'll just speed up time and go forth and conquer Eve. Basically, this isn't too complicated of a mission, but it is risky because I do, you know, I do gotta make sure that I still get there. I don't want to screw this up and have to do it again. Also, totally off topic, but WildStar releases the week that I'm doing this video. Oh, I cannot wait. It is going to be the best thing ever. I have, that's what you hear. That is literally a giant bag of trail mix, and then I've got some juice, some awesome juice, and some beef jerky. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna not die on launch night because I'm going to load up on protein and fats and, you know, carb and all of this other stuff, and actually have juice to wash it down with, which is not what I did for the Diablo launch, where I just kind of went with water and coffee and felt like I was going to die when it got to about 7 o'clock in the morning. Worst idea ever. Just throwing that out there. If you're going to do a launch night, be prepared and don't kill yourself. So have proper nutrients around and don't just load up on coffee. Pro tips. Alright, pretty much there, so I'm just going to readjust. And actually cut it pretty close as far as pushing that button. Almost went way over, but we're good as you could tell. We're just gonna go ahead and start our burn now. Get it right on our maneuver marker ish, right-ish on it. Okay, and we got quite a bit of fuel left. We got a lot less than that says we do, so I just gotta keep an eye on it. We should be able to finish this burn no problem though. Eve is, you know, it's not too hard to get to in the grand scheme of like this little corner of our solar system, but it's the whole getting back thing that'll get you on Eve. You just gotta watch yourself. And stop. Oh, that was too much. Okay, so now I gotta go back the other direction. And almost there. Okay, burn just a little bit. There. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Nice. I'm going to speed up a little bit, and then I'm going to adjust the periapsis, and then we'll probably do our final approach and landing on Eve itself. So I have a little bit of a problem. I sped up to do my maneuver, and in moving my thing around, it screwed that up. Not to mention the fact that I have no electricity, as you can clearly see, because I can't even bring up my engines or anything because all of my solar panels are on the top and the sun is over there. So clearly things are not actually facing the sun. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out and just hope for the best. Otherwise, we're going to have to relaunch and not screw it up. I knew I should have done that. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we can pull that back, and now we can do our fine-tuning of our approach here. So I dinked with it a bit. I got it kind of close like this. I'm just going to have to figure out my closest approach as we get a little closer. So we're just going to zoom in a bit. Or not zoom in, but speed up a bit. We still have plenty of fuel, too, so I'm not entirely too concerned about anything. The last thing I will do, however, just to make sure that I don't screw this up again, is to... I think I have these on 1? On 2. I have something set to all this. Oh, that's why it's not doing it, because... There we go. Now we have all those popping out. And... those will do their thing. I don't know why my ship is suddenly moving, but whatever, we can speed up. And some of those are getting some sunlight. So that will work quite well. Let's see what kind of approach we're going to have as we get a little closer here. I don't think it'll be too bad. It might be like an intercept, which it is. And you know what? That's kind of what we want. Because we really want to get rid of the rest of it. So we're going to quick save here. We're going to speed up a little bit. Ooh. Whew. As we call it in the business, my butt puckered a bit. That was... I took a bite out of my seat, you know what I mean? Okay, this looks like it is going to be a good landing. So, let's get ready to flip her around. So we're going to put these away, our solar panels. As you see, they're closing up. I have them bound to 1, if you remember correctly. I like doing that. It just makes dealing with them a lot easier. So we have a lot of mass here. I kind of want to face retrograde, which we are right now. Actually, I wanted to say that differently. I want to face prograde. So I'm going to flip all the way to prograde. The reason why is... if I flip prograde and we start going into the atmosphere, when I knock off bits, because obviously I'm not going to need this whole thing here. It was way overkill. I mean, I got here with just this, and I probably could have gotten here with even more fuel without that. But I can't transfer fuel over to it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, long story short, I just want to jettison it backwards, not towards the rest of my craft. And that was my camera shifting as we're going into orbit here.